Hi guys, welcome to Mr. Cloudbook channel. In this particular video, we are going to deploy a Tetris game. So which is the version 1 and version 2. We are going to deploy the two versions with the help of the ArgoCD, and we are going to build these images using the DevSecOps process. Okay, and if you see the output of the first version of the game, you can play the game easily. Okay, this is the first version game that we are building. Okay, and you can play the game very well. So this is the first version of game. Okay, after some days, so whenever your client wants to ask you to change the game without our application, without any latency in our deployment of application with the new application. Okay, so how did you do? You are using the ArgoCD. Okay, so this is the ArgoCD. We will use it to deploy the application. Okay, so automatically we will create the image using the DevSecOps, and it will automatically change your image from the Jenkins CI/CD. So you can see we are using the Tetris version 1. Okay, so whenever we change the version 2 using the Jenkins CI/CD, you will see in the video. Okay, so just now I am using, just for the explanation purpose, I am changing the version directly. Okay, so click on commit changes. Whenever I change the version to v2, so ArgoCD will automatically take the effect here. Okay, you can see here it's using the version 1. Okay, you can see here, if you click on any pod here, and you can see it's using the Tetris version 1, and if you close this one, and you can see it's automatically progressing to the new app. Okay, so without any latency, it's automatically updating your deployment application. So ArgoCD will automatically detect any changes in our deployment file. It will automatically update it to your Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so we are deploying the application to Kubernetes cluster, and you can see here it's still running state. Okay, using the Tetris version 2. Okay, now it's changed to version 2. Okay, so last is using the version 1, right? And if you go back here and if you refresh this one, and you can see the second version. If you click on start, and you can see the second version of game. Okay, so this is we are going to deploy in our Kubernetes today. Okay, so we can deploy this application easily with the help of the DevSecOps and ArgoCD. Okay, without any errors. Okay, you can play the game in different modes also. You can change the mode here also directly. Okay, you can play it, and if you want the dark mode, you can change the dark mode only. Okay, you can see the dark modes and everything. Okay, working fine. Let's do this with the CI/CD. Okay, so let's discuss about the project we are doing. So this is the complete process we are doing in this project. First, we are going to log into our AWS console, and we are going to create an IAM user. So with the for the IAM user, we are going to create an access key and a secret access key. Okay, so this is the IAM keys. Okay, so we are going to configure the keys into our laptop. Okay, so in order to configure the AWS keys to your laptop, you need to have the AWS CLI installed on your local machine. I already installed AWS CLI on my local machine, and you need to install Terraform on your local machine also. And I already have installed AWS CLI and Terraform on my local machine. Okay, if you don't know how to install a Terraform and AWS CLI, I already made a dedicated video for that one. I will provide the link in the description, and I will provide the blog also to install Terraform and AWS CLI on your laptop. Okay, with the help of Terraform, we are going to launch the provision EC2 instance. Okay, on our AWS. Okay, so with the T2 large, we are going to launch an EC2 instance with 30 GB of storage. Okay, and we are going to install Jenkins using the user data. So we are going to use the shell script and our user data to install Jenkins on the machine that we are provisioning. Okay, so once the instance is provisioned, it will install the shell script will run, and it will install the Jenkins. And we need the SonarQube for our security checks and Trivy also. So that's why we are also installing the SonarQube and Trivy on the same machine using the shell script. And in order to create a Terraform provisioning from the Jenkins, so Terraform also to be installed. That's why I am also installing the Terraform. And finally, we need the kubectl and AWS CLI on the Jenkins also. Okay, so that's why we are going to install Jenkins, SonarQube, Trivy, Terraform, AWS CLI, and the kubectl on our Jenkins machine that is provisioned using the Terraform. Okay, using the shell script. Okay, so once this is done, we are going to attach some plugins and everything. Okay, So in order to complete our project, so for the first job, we are going to build an AWS EKS cluster on our AWS instance using the Terraform. So that's why we are going to install Terraform and AWS CLI on our Jenkins machine. Okay, so this will check out the code from Git and it will install AWS EKS cluster on our AWS, and it will store our Terraform state file to S3 bucket. Okay, for the Jenkins state file also, I mean Jenkins creation or provision state file also, it will also store in our S3 bucket. Okay, for building an application, we are using the DevSecOps process, right? For the security checks, we are using the SonarQube, and for the npm to install some dependencies for the application, and finally we are using the Trivy file scan for our security check to scan our files. Okay, so to find any vulnerabilities in our files. Okay, after that we are going to scan our complete application using the OWASP. OWASP is a completely dependency check security can. Okay, so it will check the every vulnerabilities in our application. Okay, using that one. So after the complete dependency check completes, we are going to build the image using the Docker, and we are going to push that Docker image to our Docker hub. So once that is done, so we are going to scan that particular image. The image that we created from the Docker hub, we will scan that image using the Trivy. Okay, so for the vulnerabilities, we will update that particular image that we created to our deployment file. And you can see that we are going to do from the Jenkins CI/CD only. Okay, not we are going to do from the manual, we are going to do from the Jenkins itself. Okay, I am not going inside our deployment file, and I am not changing that file name, okay, or the image name. So I am going to change that image name in deployment.yaml using the Jenkins CI/CD only. So after that, we are going to install ArgoCD on our AWS EKS. Okay, so using the ArgoCD, we are going to deploy our application. Okay, so first our new version, our version 1 will be created. Our version 1 will be moved to this particular deployment YAML file. So ArgoCD will automatically check that image and pull that image, and it will deploy to our AWS EKS. Okay, so that is the first version of Tetris game we are going to deploy. Okay, whenever you wanted to update your application, okay, you wanted to move on to the next version of your application. Okay, so you again go through this all process. Okay, so you will scan the image, you will scan the code complete using SonarQube, install dependencies, scan the files, and OWASP dependency checks, and everything you will do for the second version also. Okay, so we are going to create 2 versions of Tetris game in this particular video. Okay, so in the first version we are going to create the Tetris version 1, and in the second build, third job. Okay, so this is the first job for EKS, and second job for the version 1, and third job for our version 2. So once this is done, so we are going to update that image to our deployment file, and the ArgoCD will automatically check that okay, there is a change in my GitHub repository or in my deployment file, so I have to update that one. So it will update our image to your AWS EKS, and it will change your game to version 2 automatically. Okay, so this is how we are going to deploy our application today. Till now we are going to deploy our application in only one version. Okay, but in this particular video we are going to deploy our application from one version to another version using the ArgoCD with DevSecOps and GitOps. Okay, so we are going to merge everything. Okay, so you will learn new tools from this video, and you can see in the first version we will automatically update the image name here, and we will play that game, and after some time we are going to build the second version of game, and we are going to update that image using the Jenkins only, and ArgoCD will automatically take that image and build that image to deploy that image to your AWS EKS, and we will play that another version of the game also in the same external link of load balancer. Okay, so this is the complete process, and you can see the version 1 game also. This is the version 1 game. Okay, we are going to deploy. Okay, so this version 1 will look like this. Okay, so this is the Tetris version 1. I want to explain what is the ArgoCD first of all. Okay, you can see what is exactly the ArgoCD. So in the realm of a continuous delivery tools, so ArgoCD stands out with a GitOps philosophy. It's an open source platform that streamlines the deployment and management of application on a Kubernetes cluster. The central premise is simple. So ArgoCD will use the Git repositories as a source of the truth for defining the desired application state. Whenever there is a change in the repository or in the change in the image name of your deployment file, it will automatically check, okay, there is a change in my deployment file or in my GitHub repository. I have to update that particular a deployment file, and I have to provide the live repo, I mean live update. Okay, so I have to update this one. Okay, so that's why we are using the ArgoCD. So it automatically triggers the deployment whenever there is a change in your GitHub repository. Okay, so keeping the application state is live and synced with your repository. Okay, so we don't need to we don't need to go manually and do manually. Okay, so by clicking on, yeah, you have to do refresh and you have to sync that application. Okay, so ArgoCD will take care of everything by syncing of your newly pushed image to your deployment file. Okay, so I will show that one clearly, don't worry about that. And after that, we are going to see the second version of your game. This is the second version of my game, so watch the video till the end. Okay, all I'm asking is to just like this video. Okay, it will reach to the more audience and it can get the more views, and so many will learn new things from this video. Okay, and you can see this is the complete process we are going to do today. Okay, so with the Terraform we are provisioning EKS also and Jenkins also. Okay, let's go to my AWS console and create an IAM case. Okay, so go back to AWS console here, and in the search bar you have to search for IAM and click on enter. So before going to do this project, you have to remove every role. Okay, so go to the role section. Before, I don't want this Terraform role, and you have to keep these two roles. Okay, so AWS service role for support and AWS service role for trusted advisor. So these are the by default roles. Okay, so remove the other roles. Okay, so because EKS cluster will create those roles. Okay, so let's delete one. Delete. So I'm explaining everything clearly, don't worry about that. Okay, so I will provide the blog also, and as of now I didn't write any blog for this particular project. Okay, and you can see the roles are deleted. Okay, so in the left side panel you have to click on users and you have to create an user. Okay, so create an user and you have to provide the username for your user. So I am going with as a provide user access, and I want to create an IAM user, and click on next here and attach policies directly. And you can see here for the permission policies, for the learning only we are using the administrator access. Okay, so whenever we are using inside our organization or wherever, we are going to open only EC2 full access and EKS full access. Okay, let me go with the administrator access and click on next, and you can see the administrator access and click on create user, and you have to download the CSV file. Okay, so however I will delete this one. Okay, so click on view user and you have to click on continue, and you have to click on security credentials here. After multi-factor authentication, you have to click on create access keys, and you have to select the command line interface and confirmation and click on next and create access keys. And let me copy these keys. Okay, so copy it and paste it inside my Visual Studio Code. I don't want to download this file, that's why I'm saving my keys over there. Okay, so I will delete this key, I will delete this IAM user later. Okay, so click on done, yeah, continue. So my IAM user is created, and you have to come to EC2 instance, and you can see as of now I don't have any instances running, is 0. Okay, all you have to do is go to GitHub repository and you have to clone this particular repository to your local machine. Okay, so I already have this one inside my, and you can see this is the Jenkins Terraform. Okay, so in the Jenkins Terraform I already have my Jenkins and every Terraform files to provision my EC2. Okay, let me close this .md, and you have to click on terminal here and new terminal. In this main.tf file I am going to create an IAM role. Okay, so whenever we launch whenever we create an EKS cluster from Jenkins, we need the IAM role. Okay, so for the administrator access we need the role, so that's why I'm creating the IAM role first with this one. So it will create an IAM role. Okay, and you can see the policy attachment, so I am attaching the administrator access. You can see this is the administrator I am attaching to this particular role. Okay, so I am giving the profile name also as a Jenkins Terraform, and here also the name is same, Jenkins Terraform. It will create an IAM role and attach policy of administrator access. Okay, so next we are going to create a security group with ports open 22, 80, 443 and 8080 and 9000. So 8080 for Jenkins and 9000 for our SonarQube, and our application runs on 3000. Our Tetris game will runs on 3000, that's why I'm opening 3000 here. And for the egress means outbound rule, I am opening everyone and all port. Okay, for the outbound rules. And next it will creating an EC2 instance with Ubuntu AM ID. This is the Ubuntu AM ID with the T2 large. And for the key name, you have to change your key pair name here. So I will show that one. So go to my AWS console, and in the left side panel you have to click on key pairs here. So this key is only available for me. Okay, so whatever the key pair you have in your laptop or in your AWS console, you have to change that key pair here. Okay, so in the Mumbai. And next, for the security group, this is the security group we are creating, right? So this security group will attach here, okay, for this EC2 instance. And this will use this template install.jenkins as such. It will use this particular install jenkins.sh to install Jenkins and SonarQube and everything. So, and we are attaching that IAM role that we created to our EC2 instance with the name of Jenkins Sonar. So let me remove this one. Okay, so let's go with the Jenkins -argo. So this is fine. So 30 GB of storage. Let me save this one and go back to install.jenkins as such. First of all, I will explain everything. This particular first block, okay, so this particular first shell script will install Jenkins on your EC2 instance that we frozen, and next it will install Docker using this particular commands, and it will run our SonarQube container for on the same instance. Okay, so next we are going to install Trivy on the same machine by using this particular commands. Okay, so this will update and it will download wget and everything, and it will install Trivy, and you can see that one also. And finally, with the Jenkins, we are going to launch our EKS cluster. That's why we need the Terraform in our instance. That's why I am downloading the Terraform also. You can see this code will install Terraform, and kubectl to be is installed on my Jenkins machine also. That's why I'm using the kubectl installation script also here. And AWS CLI is also required for the configure. So that's why I'm installing the AWS CLI also. And you can see this is the backend.tf file. It will store our Terraform state file to my backend. So this is my bucket name. You can see as a Mr. Cloudbook 777. You have to change this particular bucket name. Okay, so let me show that one also. And if you click on S3 here, and you can see this is the bucket I'm using as a Mr. Cloudbook 777. And you can see the same image, the same bucket that I am using inside my backend.tf file. You can see here I can provide here 777 as a Mr. Cloudbook and 777. Okay, so this is the same bucket I am using. Okay, so you have to download this, you have to use your own S3 bucket here. Okay, so you can change the region also. Okay, so I am using this particular every keys. I mean, this is the AMI for AB South one only. Okay, so AP South one. So you can change the region also. Okay, so in the provider.tf you can change the region directly. Okay, this will frozen my EC2 instance in AP South one, and you can see here it will store my TF state file to my Mr. Cloudbook as a 777. Okay, come to my terminal and cd, so change directory Jenkins Terraform and enter, and you can see ls here, and you can see these are the files I'm using: backend.tf file and install jenkins.sh and main.tf file. So to frozen my instance and launch the Jenkins on it, and all you have to do is provide Terraform in it first. So to initialize the backend of your AWS, it will download the every required dependencies for our Terraform. So to provision AWS EC2 instance on my AWS console. Okay, and it is initialized successfully. Let's clear the screen. All you have to do is Terraform validate. Okay, so provide the Terraform validate to see our code is working fine or not. So enter, and you can see it's succeeded. And I forgot to show you the Terraform version also. Let me show the version by providing Terraform version here and enter, and you can see Terraform is installed. Okay, so and I will show the AWS version also, AWS -- version here, and enter, and you can see it will provide the version of AWS CLI also with the Python also. Sorry, so I forgot to add the another hyphen, that's why it is throwing error, and enter, and you can see AWS CLI is installed 2.13. Okay, so clear the screen and provide the Terraform plan now. So to see what is the resources it's creating. Okay, and you can see it's adding the 5 resources. Okay, so it's creating a security group. This is the security group it's creating, and you can see this is creating the instance and IAM role policy attachment. It's creating the IAM role also, and you can see it's creating the profile also. Okay, and let's apply this one. Clear the screen and apply by providing Terraform. Apply -- auto approve. So don't provide auto approve here, but I know this code will run, that's why I'm providing the auto approve here. And you can see it's creating the IAM role first, and next it's creating the security group, and you can see IAM role its creation is completed, and policy attachment creating, and you can see next it's creating the profile, you can see here, and finally it's created the security group also, and policy attachments is completed, and finally it's creating the instance. Okay, and you can see 5 resources is added and working fine. And if you go back to my AWS console, you can click on EC2 here, and you can see instances running is 1, and you can see the name also. I provided Jenkins Argo, right? You can see Jenkins Argo with the large T2 large instance type, and you can see the key pair also at the end of this one, and you can see Mumbai, so that is available for me. And you can see the storage also here, 30 GB, and you can see the security group that we created. Ports we opened 22, 80, 443 and 3000, and we opened another port, right, 9000 also, and you can see that is 9000. So come to details, and it will take 2 to 3 minutes to install everything. So I mean Jenkins, Sonar and everything. You have to clone this particular Tetris one into your local machine, and you can see you have to go inside this Jenkins Terraform, and you have to Terraform init and Terraform plan and apply everything. That will install Jenkins and everything. Okay, so it will browse an EC2 instance in AP South 1, and you have to change the backend.tf file here. So you have to change this particular bucket name. Okay, and you have to change the key pair also here in the main.tf file, and you can see this is the key name we have to change. And you can see here in the EKS Terraform that's I am using. So this is the main.tf file. Okay, so this will create an IAM role. Okay, so let me explain this Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let's come back cd // and cd, so EKS Terraform. So if you see here ls, I have the main.tf file and provider.tf file for our and clear the screen, and you can see the EKS here. Click on main.tf file. So I already made a dedicated video on how to create an EKS cluster from the Terraform. You can watch that video for clear explanation and everything. Okay, so first it will create an IAM role, okay, for our EKS cluster, and next it will get the data of our VPC, and finally we are getting the data of your AWS subnets. The default data it will get. Okay, so these two blocks will get our VPC data. Okay, so for the next we are going to create an EKS cluster with IAM role attachment, and next we are creating the IAM role for our node group. Okay, so with these policies attached, so we need the Amazon EKS worker node policy, CNI policy and container registry policy, and finally we are creating the node group here. I set the desired size is to 1, and you have to change the name here. Okay, T2 micro is not enough for this particular project, you need to change it to T2 medium. Okay, so finally we are attaching that role to our EC2 node group cluster. Okay, and you can come here. I think I changed the T2 size here. Let me change it here. Okay, so T2 micro, I have to update this one to T2 medium. Come here and update it to T2 medium. Okay, and let's commit the changes. So that is then you can see I changed the cluster node group to T2 medium. Okay, so we need the instance type is T2 medium, otherwise it won't run any images. Okay, if you deploy any application, it won't run it. It will throw error by saying that your application image is pending. Okay, that's why you have to use the T2 medium. Okay, so that is done. If you go back to EC2 instances, just refresh this one, and you can see the status checks is completed. Just copy this IP address and open here, and Control V, and with port 8080 and enter. So meanwhile let me connect to this one. So connect, copy the SSH client. Let me open my mobile extreme, or you can directly connect with them putty also. Okay, so paste your client, that SSH client that you copied, and enter. And don't worry about this particular EKS explanation, I already made a video on this one, so I will provide the link in the description also. You can watch that video if you have any doubts on EKS cluster creation from the Terraform. Okay, so I'll provide S here and enter, and let me close this one and clear the screen. So go back to browser, so and you can see so Jenkins is up and running. So copy this particular path, right click and copy it, and you have to do sudo cat and copy path and enter, and you will get the password for your sign in Jenkins. Just copy this password and come back to browser and paste it here, and click on continue and never, and you have to click on install suggested plugins. So it will install some plugins. Okay, that's why I am using the 30 GB of storage. And for the SonarQube we need the T2 medium. So for the Jenkins also we need the T2 medium. That's why I'm going with the T2 large. Okay. So come back here. So let's see our SonarQube is working fine or not by providing the Docker PS here, and you can see SonarQube is up and running fine. So let's copy the same IP address, okay, because both are running in the same instance. Copy this one and open a new tab and paste here with the 9000 and enter, and you can see SonarQube is up and running. And you have to provide the login details. So login username is admin and the password is also admin, small letters, and click on login and click on OK and never. And the old password is admin, right? So provide the admin and you have to update your password and update it. So this is our SonarQube dashboard, okay, and it will install plugins. It will take some time, okay. So come back to your mobile extreme. Let's see our Trivy is installed or not, okay. So by providing the Trivy version here and enter, and you can see Trivy is installed 0.46, okay. And let's see whether it's installed AWS CLI or not by providing AWS version and enter, and you can see it's installed AWS CLI also. So let's see it's installed Terraform or not. Terraform version here and enter, and you can see Terraform is also installed. And finally we have to check that kubectl is installed or not, right? So kubectl version and enter. Okay, the flag is error. So let's remove this one by providing kubectl version, and you can see the kubectl version is 1.28. Everything working fine. From the user data only, I mean from the shell script only, we installed Jenkins and we ran the container and we installed the Trivy and we installed AWS CLI and we installed Terraform and we installed the kubectl, okay. So everything is working fine. And if you provide which Terraform here, and you will find the path for your Terraform, okay. So Terraform is working fine. So come back to browser and go to the Jenkins. So you have to create an admin user here. So I'm not creating any admin user here. So just click on skip and continue as admin and save and finish and start using Jenkins. So if you want to create any user over there, you can create a, okay. So there is no problem with that, but I am using the same admin user, but I am going to change the password for this particular admin user, okay. So click on admin top right, and you have to click on configure in the left side panel and go to the password section here. So this is the password section. Double tap and change the password, so whatever you need, and tab and change the confirm the password, okay. And all you have to do is first apply, okay. So first click on apply and next you have to click on save and remove this remaining path up to 8080 and click on enter, okay. And you have to log in again. So what is my username? So admin, right? Admin. And what is the password? So that you created, and you have to provide the same password to log in, okay. And you can see the version here, so 2.4.1, okay. So everything fine, right? So let's add my plugins, okay. So first we need the Terraform plugin, right? In order to provision a EKS cluster on my AWS console, I need the Terraform plugin. So go to the, so first you have to click on manage Jenkins here, and next click on plugins and avail plugins, and you have to search for the Terraform here. So Terraform, and select this one and click on install, and you can see it will install, okay. So meanwhile come back to manage Jenkins and you can come back to AWS console, okay. So let's come back to EC2 first. So go to the EC2 instances running. Let's see whether it's attached to our role or not. First click on actions and security, modify IAM role. So we created Jenkins Terraform role and we attach it to this particular EC2 instance, and everything working fine. So let's go to the tools section and you can search for the Terraform, okay. Terraform, and you can see this is the Terraform installations, and add Terraform, and you can provide the name, okay. So Terraform here, so we can install automatically. So we already installed it on my EC2 instance, right? That's why I'm not using this one. And provide the directory, so here, and you have to provide which Terraform and copy this particular path, okay. User bin, right click, copy it and come here, and you have to paste it here and click on apply and click on save. So that is done. Now click on new item for this is the first job we are doing. Okay, so what is the job name? So Terraform, right? So Terraform, so you can provide any name you want. I'm just going with the Terraform -EKS cluster creation, right? So pipeline, so click on OK, and you can use anything EKS from Jenkins, and click on discard world builds and use the maximum builds to 3. And I want to set this particular Terraform with the parameterized actions. Okay, so click on this project is parameterized, select this one and add parameter, and you have to select the choice parameter here, and you have to use action here. Okay, so action, so you have to provide your choices. So we need the apply and destroy command, right, to apply any changes from the Terraform and to destroy any resources that we created. Okay, so we need destroy and we need the apply. Okay, so that is done, and you have to click on pipeline here, and you can use the try sample pipeline here and from the hello world. So let's check out our code first for our EKS. Check out. So let's remove this one. So let's write this one. So use pipeline syntax, and you can select this particular Tetris version 1 only. Okay, so this is the Tetris version, right? So Tetris version, and copy this particular code, and this is the main branch. Okay, so go to the pipeline syntax generator, and you have to select git here and provide the repository URL here. So Tetris version 1, you have the Terraform, and EKS Terraform files. Okay, so branch is main, right? So provide the main, and you have to click on generate pipeline script and copy this one and go to here and paste it here. Okay, so that is done. Okay, for the next stage, okay, so for the next stage, so we have to change this one. Okay, so first we will initialize, right, Terraform init. Okay, so let's do that by providing Terraform init. So, and you can see here, let's remove this one, delete. So, and you can see here inside my GitHub repository, my files are stored inside EKS Terraform, right? So I have to change the directory. Okay, so that's why you have to copy this particular name EKS Terraform, right click, copy it, go to the pipeline syntax generator, and you have to click on sample step. You have to click on directory, change current directory, select this one, and you have to provide the path here and generate, and you have to use this block. Okay, so select this one, right click, copy it, and go back here, and you have to paste it here and align it properly, so without any syntactical errors. So next command is, so what is our command? sh terraform init, right? So we need the Terraform init, that's why we are using the Terraform init here. And let's copy this stage and I will add another stage. So next stage is validate. Okay, so let's validate. Okay, so we need validate here. So that is done. So let's add another stage for our plan. So remove the init here and provide the plan, and remove here, and you have to provide the plan here also. And for the final stage, okay, so apply stage and delete stage is same. Okay, so apply or delete, apply / destroy, so both are in the same stage. Okay, so you have to $ brackets action. So we provide the action, right, in the choice parameter, that's why I'm using the action auto -approve. Okay, apply, and you can see, so where did you get this particular action means, you can come here. So you can see here I used the choice parameter name as action here, that's why I'm using the Terraform action here. Okay, so click on apply and click on save. So just you have to click on build with parameters. if you select the action with apply, it will provision EKS cluster. Okay, so if you select the destroy, it will delete the EKS cluster that we created. Okay, so just click on apply and click on build. Let's see whether it's working fine or not. And you can see here, go to the console output, and you can see checkout is completed and initialize is started. Okay, and you can see it's moved inside to our Terraform EKS. Okay, so it's changed to EKS Terraform also, and initialize everything, and you can see Terraform validate. So configuration is valid, and you can see this is the plan. Okay, so it will create an IAM role. Okay, so IAM policy and VPC default VPC it's using. Okay, so it's creating the cluster. Okay, so and VPC config and everything, and you can see the T2 medium type for our node group. Okay, and it will take some time to create. Okay, so if you see here, and you can see this is the plan 8 to add. It will add the 8 resources, and in the next stage it will automatically take in the apply option using the action option, right? So we provided action here, but it's taking the apply because we building with the parameter is apply, right? So that's why it's creating the EKS cluster. Okay, so it will take some time to create cluster, so it will take minimum 10 minutes. You can see, so it's working fine. So meanwhile, come back to dashboard, and we will start the second job. Okay, so in order to start the second job, we need some plugins. Okay, so we need to download some plugins, right? So go to the manage Jenkins here and click on plugins and go to the available plugins, and first we need the Java plugin. Okay, so for the Java plugin you need the Temurin. Okay, so search for Temurin and install this one, and let's remove and search for Sonar. Okay, so we need the SonarQube plugin and select this one, SonarQube scanner, and next we need the Node.js plugin also. Okay, so search for Node.js and you have to select this one, Node.js. Okay, and we need the OWASP plugin also for our dependency check. Search for OWASP and you have to select this one, and next we need the Docker plugins. Okay, so search for Docker and install these plugins: Docker Commons, Docker Pipeline, and Docker API, Docker build stuff. Okay, so click on install. So it will take 2 minutes to install. Okay, let me skip that part. The tools may be installed. Let's go back to manage Jenkins, and you have to click on tools. We need to add the tools, right, for the Java and for the Node.js and everything. So click on tools. So we have to configure the tools in order to complete this project. Okay, so for the first you need to add the Java installation here, and click on add JDK and provide the name anything you want. So I'm just going with JDK and 17. So and you have to remove this one. Okay, so by default, and you click on add installer and install from adaptium.net. Okay, and select the version as 17. So you can go with this one, 17.08. So JDK 17, install automatically, install from adaptium.net and use the 17.08 version. For next we need the SonarQube installations. Okay, so click on add SonarQube scanner, and you have to provide the name as a Sonar scanner, and whatever you want, you can provide any name. Okay, so just go with this particular latest version, so nothing to change. All you have to do is provide your name, and you have to add the Node.js installation. So click on add Node.js and use the version as a Node 16 and select the version of 16.20. Okay, so let me select that one. Yeah, this is the Node.js 16.20 we are going to use. Okay, so provide the name as Node 16 and select the version as 16.20. That's fine. And for the next, this is the OWASP dependency check installations. Okay, so add that one, and you have to provide the name. So I am providing the name as dp-check, and you can provide any name. Okay, install automatically, add installer, and we have to install from github.com. Okay, select the install from github.com and use the 6.5.1 version. Okay, so don't use the latest version. Okay, so use 6.5.1. and finally we need to add the Docker installations. So add Docker, and you can provide the name as a Docker here, and we need to install automatically. So select download from docker.com, and you have to use the latest version only. Okay, so click on apply and click on save. We added the tools, right? So now we have to integrate our Jenkins with our SonarQube. Okay, so in order to integrate, okay, so in order to tell this particular Jenkins to go to this particular URL and use this particular Sonar token to check my code, okay, to make the analysis. Okay, so that's why we need to integrate. So to do that, you have to go to the SonarQube dashboard here, and you have to click on administration, and you have to click on security, and you have to click on users, and we need to create a token. So under tokens, you have to click on here, and you have to provide the name. So I am providing the name as Jenkins, and click on generate and copy this particular code. Okay, so come back to Jenkins, and under the manage Jenkins, and you have to add the credential of this token that you copied. Okay, so select the credential, and you have to click on global, add credentials, and you have to select the kind. Okay, so as the secret text, select that kind as secret text, and paste the token that you copied. So this is the token that I copied. Okay, so and for the ID, I'm going to use as a Sonar -token. Okay, you can use any name. So copy it, and for the description also I'm using the same, and you can click on create, and you can see our Sonar token credential is added. Okay, so now come back to manage Jenkins, and now click on system. So we need to integrate, right? So we have to go inside the system. Now search for the Sonar. Okay, so we have to go to this SonarQube servers. Okay, so let me close this one, and you have to add SonarQube. Okay, so under SonarQube installations, and you have to provide the name as a Sonar server. So you can use any name. Okay, and you have to go to SonarQube dashboard and copy this particular IP address with 9000. Right click and copy it, and come back to Jenkins and paste it the IP address here, and remove the slash at the end. Okay, so otherwise it will throw error. And we added the token already, server authentication token. Just select this one, and you have to add this one. So you can see I provided a name as Sonar token, so that is the typo. Okay, so don't worry about that. So and all you have to do is click on apply and click on save, and now you have to copy this particular IP address. Okay, so of the Jenkins dashboard, copy the Jenkins dashboard public IP, and we need to add the quality gate, okay, to our SonarQube. So go to the SonarQube dashboard, click on done, and you have to click on administration again, and click on configuration, and click on webhooks, and you have to click on create here, and you can provide a name as anything. So I'm just going with Jenkins, and you have to paste the URL of your Jenkins dashboard with 8080, and provide the SonarQube -webhook/ at the end. Okay, so you have to provide like this. Okay, so with the IP of Jenkins dashboard 8080 SonarQube -webhook at the end /. Okay, so click on create, and we added the quality gate also. So quality gate is also like a traffic signal. Okay, so whenever the code find, I mean like whenever the code succeeded the analysis, so then only it will pass the gate. Okay, so then only it will tell that Jenkins, okay, you can go with the next step. Otherwise quality gate will about the complete pipeline at the failure stage of your analysis. Okay, so that's why it's like a traffic signal. And now go back to dashboard, and you can see Terraform AKS is completed. After the 9 minutes, it's completed successfully. If you go back to your AWS console, in the search bar you have to search for EKS. Okay, and search for enter, and you can see we created a EKS cluster now. So with the same name, you can see the name also, and let me show the name in the Jenkins also. So you can click on console output here, console output, and you can see the name here, EKS cloud. Okay, so you can see the time also. Okay, if you click on EKS cloud, and you can see the time here also, you can see it's created 30 minutes ago. Okay, so that means we have created this particular EKS from our Terraform using the Jenkins. Okay, and if you click on compute, you can see the node group also. You can see node group is set to 1. Okay, so it will create an EC2 instance. So you have to click on EC2 here, and let's see whether it's created EC2 instance or not. And you can see instances is running 2, and you can see that it's created an EC2 instance with T2 medium. Okay, so that means our cluster is working fine. Okay, and you can see the storage also, volume is set to 20 GB. So everything is working fine. We created the AKS cluster and everything fine. And let's create our version 1 of our Tetris game. Okay, so go here and go to the Terraform AKS. Let's create our Tetris version 1 game. Okay, so we have to go to the GitHub repository and Tetris version 1, and this is the Tetris version 1. Okay, V1. So this is the version 1. Okay, so go back to Jenkins and click on dashboard, and you can see click on new item here, and you can use the name as a Tetris here. So anything fine. So pipeline, and click on OK. And for that game, so you can use the Tetris version 1 now, and select the discard world builds and set to maximum builds is to 3. And you can go to the directly pipeline here, and you can use the try sample pipeline from hello world. Okay, so first we will check out the code, right? So every time whenever we write a pipeline, we start with the pipeline. Okay, so that's why we are starting with pipeline. And agent, so we are not using any agents for this particular project, so that's why we are using the any, means it will run on our master only. Okay, on the Jenkins master. So we need to write the stage inside this particular stages. That's why we are starting with the stages. Inside of the stages we have to write the stage. Okay, so inside of the stage we have to write the steps. Okay, for the first stage I have to use the checkout code. Okay, so I am using the checkout, and let me delete this one and delete. And you can see pipeline syntax. You can come back to here. So in the under sample step you have to select the git, and you are using to Tetris version only. You can see, so Tetris version and main branch, and you can generate the pipeline script. Let me copy this one and come back here, and you have to paste it here. Okay, so apply. And if you get any doubt how did you get the URL and everything, so all you have to do is come to my GitHub repository and click on code and copy this one, and go to the pipeline syntax and select the sample step as a git and git, and you have to paste the URL that you copied. So the same URL I am getting. Okay, so and for the branch I am using the main branch. You can see this is the main branch, right? So that's why I am using the main here. So all you have to do is click on generate pipeline script, and you will get like this, and you have to copy this one and you have to add it here. Okay, so that is done. So let's add our next stage. Okay, after the checkout stage we have to add the SonarQube analysis. Okay, enter and paste it here, and you can see sonar analysis. So that is done. So let's remove this one, and before that we need to add some tools to our SonarQube configuration. Okay, otherwise it will throw error. So we need to add Java and Node.js tool. Okay, so under the agent any, and click on enter, and you have to use the tools, and you have to open a brackets and enter. So without providing any tools, the SonarQube won't run. That's why you have to use the JDK or the Java tool inside your pipeline. Okay, so for the JDK, right? So JDK, and open a single quotes. So and you can go to the pipeline syntax generator. Under sample step you have to search for the tools here. Okay, so tool, you can see under tool type you have to select the Java. You can see this is the JDK, right? Search for JDK and generate, and you can see the tool name. It will provide that tool name that you provided. Just copy this name, right click, copy it, and come back to pipeline and paste it here. So I provided Java here, and the name is JDK17. And next I need to use the Node.js also, and provide the Node.js and in this single quotes, and come back to pipeline syntax, and again you have to select the tool type. So you have to use the sample step as a tool, and for the tool type you have to select the Node.js. Okay, so this is the Node.js, right? Select this one, and you have to select generate, and you can see this is the tool name that we provided, Node16. So that's why copy the name of Node16 here, and you have to paste it here. Come back to pipeline and paste it here. Okay, and click on apply. So this is done. So how did you generate this particular SonarQube analysis code? Okay, so if you get the question, you have to come to our SonarQube dashboard, and you have to click on projects, and you have to click on manually, and you have to provide the display name. Okay, so for the Tetris, right, we are using Tetris, so v1, so I mean version 1, and you have to select the main branch here and click on setup, and you have to select the locally here. Okay, so select locally, and you have to use the existing token that we generated last time. So Windows V, I already have that token. Okay, so save the token that you generated. Okay, so for this purpose, and you have to use it here and click on continue. And for we are using the Node.js application, right? So that's why you have to select the other here for the build option, and you have to select the OS as Linux, and you can see this will generate this particular code. Okay, so project name and everything. Okay, so this is the same thing. I changed it to little bit different. Okay, I already provided this particular SonarQube block in my version 1 here in the GitHub repository, and you can see here and we need to use the environment. Okay, so we need to provide the scanner home tool. Okay, so for the sonar scanner we use the particular sonar scanner name. So let me show that one also. And if you go to the pipeline syntax here, and for the tool you have to use the tool, and you have to, under tool type, you have to select the sonar scanner. Okay, you can see SonarQube scanner, and you see we provide the tool name as sonar scanner. If you generate it, we'll get the name. Okay, sonar scanner. Okay, so right click and copy it. So I used the same name here. Okay, so this is the same name. So let's copy this particular block and Control C, and you have to add it here. So after the tool section we need to add the environment. Okay, so this is done. For the next shell script. Okay, so for the shell script, where did we generate it? We generated from here, right? So we need to use this one only, but I already made that similar changes here, and you can see. So this is the stage, and you have to use this particular with SonarQube env. Okay, so right click and copy this one, and you have to paste it here. Okay, with SonarQube env. So let's change a little bit. Okay, so already added a sonar scanner from here, right? So this is the sonar scanner home. So it will call this particular sonar scanner from here, and we need to add this particular sonar server inside our system. Okay, that's why I'm calling that one, and change the name to Tetris version 1, right? So let's change that one, and let me copy this one and use it here also. For the project key name also same. So I did change it the same name. Okay, so you can see dsonar project key name. So I copied the same thing from here. Okay, so this is done. We'll scan our code completely. Okay, and for the next stage we need to add the quality gate also. Let me copy this particular stage, copy it and add it here. And what is our quality gate? So have to change the names. Okay, otherwise it will get conflict. And let's remove this one. So we don't need this one, and delete, and go to the pipeline syntax generator, and you have to select the wait for quality gate here. Okay, so you can see this is the wait for quality gate. And for the server authentication token, just select the sonar that we already pasted, right? So already we attached it inside our Jenkins state. That's why we are getting the same token here, and just generate. And let's copy this one. And whenever you get this particular warning, you should be run this particular script inside your script block. Okay, so go here, write the script, open it and paste that one. So and that is done. And for the next stage we need to add our install dependencies. Let me copy the above stage and paste it here. Next is what? npm stage, right? So I am explaining everything by stage only. Don't worry about that. sh npm install, and this is done. Apply. So for the first stage we are checking out the code. Okay, so this is the first stage, right? Next stage we are adding the SonarQube analysis. So for the code security check, and we are adding the quality gate here. Next we are installing the dependencies using the npm. And next we are going to scan this particular dependencies using the Trivy file also. Okay, so let's paste that again, and you have to add the Trivy here. Okay, so Trivy fs, and change the command here. So simple commands. Okay, nothing to worry about that. sh single quotes Trivy fs dot, that is enough for our file scan. And if you want to generate any file report, okay, so you can directly generate by trivyfs.txt. It will generate your report to this particular text file. Okay, for the next stage we need to add the WASP. Okay, so WASP stages we cannot be generated. That's why I already provided inside my version 1 in the GitHub repository. All you have to do is just copy this code, and you can see copied, and you have to paste it here. And you can see after the installation of dependencies, we are scanning our code using the Trivy file scan and the WASP. Okay, so once this is done, we need to, after the stage completes, we need the Docker build, right? So let's copy the above stage and paste it here. So for the stage, right, what is our stage? Docker build. So that is done. Let's remove this one. Before going to build the image or push the image to your Docker hub, we need to add some Docker credentials. Okay, so go to pipeline syntax and come back to dashboard here, and you have to click on manage Jenkins, and under credential section we need to add the credentials. Okay, so you can see, so go to the global, add credentials, and you have to select the kind as username with password, and for the username you have to provide your Docker Hub username. So don't forget that your Docker Hub username you have to provide. This is my Docker Hub username. Okay, and for the password you can directly generate the personal access token, but I am going with my password. Okay, I am not providing any personal access token, so I'm just going with my password here. And for the ID I am using the Docker, and description as also I am using the Docker, and click on create. So our credentials is added for the Docker, right? So now come back to dashboard, and you can go to the Tetris, and we are going to pipeline syntax again. And for the sample step we have to select the with Docker registry. Come down and you have to see here with Docker registry, sets of Docker registry endpoint. Select this one, and you can directly provide the URL also, but we don't require any URL. And for the registry credentials we just added now our Docker Hub credential, right? So select that one. So this is the Docker, so select it, and default installation we already set up, and select the Docker and generate it, and you have to use this one code. Okay, and you will get the error. Okay, so this step should not normally used. We have to run this particular inside script block. Okay, so that's why come back here, and after the steps you have to write the script block and brackets, enter, and paste that code that you copied. And you can see with the Docker registry it's taking. So remove the sum block here and align it properly, and even the syntax also, this brackets, everything fine. So now write the shell script. Okay, so to build and to run the image, so triple dots, triple quotes, single quotes, and what is the command to build your image? Docker build -t. So what is your name? Tetris version 1. So you can provide any name you want. I'm just going with the Tetris version 1 and dot and enter. So next it is using Docker tag command to tag with our Docker Hub username. Okay, so first we are going to build the image with build command and with the name of Tetris version 1, and dot means we are saying that our Docker file is storing it in the same path. Okay, so next we are tagging the image Tetris v1. So we are creating this image, so we are tagging that image with my username. So you have to provide your username with Tetris v1. Okay, and you can see this is the Tetris v1, and we are creating that image. So we are building that image, and we are tagging the image with our username and the name of the image, and you have to provide the tag also latest and enter. And next we need to push, right, by providing the Docker push command. You can see here Docker push. So what is the image? 7 as a /Tetris v1 and colon latest. So this is the image we are going to push, right? So we have to provide the single quotes, and you can see this will build the image, and this will tag the image with your username, and finally we are pushing that image to our Docker Hub. Okay, how did we push the image without credentials? We already added the credential here. Okay, don't worry about that. And finally we are going to scan the image that we generated or that we built. Add the another stage here and paste it. So change it to Trivy image here, and you have to change the command to Trivy image and remove the dot. Okay, and you have to provide the image name 7 as a / what is the image name that we generated? Tetris v1 latest. It will scan that image. Okay, so it will send the report to our txt file also image. Okay, you can see here from whether we are providing the same name or not. Okay, so and apply, and you can see here I written the complete pipeline in the same single go only. Okay, so first we are going to check out the code, and next we are scanning the code using the Sonar, and we are added the quality gate, and next we are installing the dependencies using the npm, and next we are using the file scan of our Trivy to scan our files, and next we are using the OWASP for our dependency check, and next we are building our Docker image and pushing the Docker image to Docker Hub, and we are pushing the image to Docker Hub. Okay, and finally we are scanning that image. Okay, apply, and save. And let's click on build now. Let's see whether it's working fine or not. Okay, and you can see it's installing the tools now, and we got this sonar analysis failure. Let's see what's the error. Go to this one and click on console output. Okay, so with the similar key we are getting the error. Okay, so with the similar key it's getting error. So let's go back to Tetris and click on configure. So it's getting the error with that similar key only. Okay, and you can see here, so with the Tetris version 1, so let's remove with the version 1.0 and let's copy this one, and you have to change it here. Okay, so we are providing the same name, that's why it's getting the error. Apply and save, and you can see here we already created the same name here, right? That's it, Tetris v1, that's why it's throwing the error. Okay, so click on build now, and you can see it's working fine now. And you can see, so sonar analysis is also completed within the 24 seconds, and quality gate is also fine. And if you go back here and click on projects, and you can see the Tetris v1, this is the last name we generated the code, right? That's why it's throwing the error. So you can see Tetris version 1.0, and it scanned the 1.2k lines, and you can see the code smells and bugs and everything. Okay, so if you want to see the more report of this particular version 1, and you have to go inside this particular Tetris version 1, and you have to click on issues, and you can see the issues here. Okay, and let's come back to Tetris version 1 and come back to projects, and everything working fine. So let's delete this one. Click on version 1. So project settings, deletion, sorry, so deletion, so delete, so we don't need that anymore, delete. Okay, that is done. And you can see here the file scan is also completed within the 5 seconds, and the OS scan, it will take more than 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, this will complete. Okay, so let me show the manifest file. Okay, I mean deployment file. Okay, so go back to my GitHub repository, and you have to click on Azure 7 here and go to the repositories, and you can see here Tetris manifest. Okay, so I am using this particular repository for the manifest file, I mean deployment file. Okay, so and you can see this is the deployment.yaml, and if you click on this one, and you can see, and I don't have any image here. Okay, so image update. Okay, whenever we run the Jenkins CI/CD pipeline, it will automatically update this particular line. Okay, so you will see this once that block we added to our CI/CD pipeline, and we will see that okay whether it is working fine or not. Okay, come back to Tetris Jenkins here. So it's still taking some time. Let's discuss about the updating of the image from the CI/CD. Okay, so go back to my GitHub repository. So let's go to the version 1. Okay, and you can see this is the block we are going to use. Okay, so for the environment, so we need the environment. Okay, so git repo. So what is the repo we are using? So Tetris manifest, that already explained, right? So we don't have any image over there. Okay, so image update is the name for that one. So we need to provide the repository name here. Okay, so what is your GitHub username? So my GitHub username is Ajay7ay. So you have to change your username. So you have to provide your GitHub username here. Okay, and next we need to check out the particular code. Okay, so we need to check out the Tetris manifest. Okay, so this is the direct repository, right? My repository. So you can see here, this is the repository. I am using the same repository here. Okay, so the same name is same. Okay, so I am checking out the same repository, and we are going to update the YAML file, deployment file. You can see update the deployment file. So on the steps and the script, and with credential ID. So you have to add your GitHub repository, means so we have to generate a token. So we have to generate a GitHub token for this one. So we need to generate a GitHub token, and we need to add it to our credentials in our Jenkins, and we need to call the token from here. Okay, so and it will store inside our GitHub token. Okay, we can call our GitHub token with this particular variable GitHub token. And next, what is the image that we created? So 7 Ajay. So we created the Tetris version 1, right? So we have to provide that name here, and this command SCD means same editor. Same editor will replace, so -i, so will replace the image. So what is the image block? So what is the image line have anything? So it will replace everything with this particular image with a new image. So new image means we already stored our image name here, right? So this image will be replaced here. Okay, and in the deployment.yaml file. Okay, So next we are adding the git add. So we are adding the deployment file, right? So that's why we are adding the git add deployment.yaml. So next we are git committing. So what we are committing, updated the deployment image to new image. So we added the image name to this image. So what is the image name? So this image. So it will provide the commit message as like that. And next we are pushing that to our deployment git push to this particular repository. So we are going to push the deployment file to this particular repository. Okay, so this is the code block. We are going to use the image updater. Okay, so for the stage. Okay, so let's go back to Tetris here, and you can see it's still taking some time. Tetris OS can for the version 1 only, it's taking more time. Okay, so it's taking more than 30 minutes. Let me close this once. So let's start it again. Okay, so I aborted this one. Okay, so building again. So let's go inside this one. Okay, it's working fine now. Let's see whether it's working or not inside the console output, or it is stopped at the unpacking only. Let's see. Okay, it's working fine now, and you can see checking for updates and everything fine. So this could take a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's wait for the completion of this particular OWASP. Okay, so whenever it's taking longer than the expected time, means it's taking more than 10 to 15 minutes, just cancel that means just about the build and start again the new build. Okay, so this has happened to me. So you can see it's taking more than 30 minutes. Okay, that's why I aborted that last build and started the new build with the third one. Okay, and you can see here it's working fine now. Okay, let's see whether it works fine or not. Otherwise we will remove the complete stage. Okay, and you can see after 6 minutes it's completed. Okay, so third build got succeeded. It's now building the Docker image now. Okay, and you can see the image got built and it pushed it to our Docker hub. And if you open a new tab and open a Docker hub here and search for the Docker hub, enter and click on the first result, and you can see this is my Docker hub, and you can see our image is pushed to Docker hub, and you can see Tetris version 1. Okay, and let's go back to my pipeline here, and you can see so the image scanning is working fine now. Okay, it's completed 6 minutes 47 seconds after the OWASP. And whenever you got the more than 30 minutes or 10 minutes, you can just skip that just abort the build and continue with the next build. Okay, so then it will work fine. So nothing to change anything. Okay, so our build got succeeded. Okay, so let's add image update stage. Okay, so go back to dashboard and click on Tetris, and you can see the check report, also dependency check report, and you can see the vulnerabilities. And you have to click on Tetris again and click on configure. All you have to do is go to the pipeline, and we have to check out our next stage. Okay, so let's add our checkout stage here. So we have to check out so let's add the another checkout stage here for our manifest file. Okay, so checkout manifest file. Okay, so we are going to check out the manifest repository here, and let's remove this one. Okay, so just remove the URL. Okay, and come back to our GitHub repository, and we are going to use this particular repository, right? So come back to Ajay 7 and click on repositories. So click on Tetris manifest. We are using this, right? So for the deployment of our ArgoCD or for this deployment file, and just copy the code and select this one, and we are using the main branch, and come back here and you have to paste it here. So you will get the same thing. Okay, whenever we generate this one, and we will get the same thing. Okay, so it will check out this particular Tetris manifest. Okay, so let's add the environment. Okay, so go under the environment and let's copy it here from the Ajay 7 to your repositories and go to the Tetris version 1. I already provided the code. Okay, I already explained, right? So just copy that one. So just copy these two lines, Control C, and come back here and add those here and align it properly. Okay, and you have to use the Tetris manifest of the name of the repository. You can see this is the name of the repository, right? Tetris manifest, and we are using the same manifest here. Okay, all you have to do is change your username here. So GitHub repository username, and let me open it in a new tab. Okay, so and you can see here my GitHub repository, and you can see here if you click on the profile, and you can see your name here. Okay, so this is the username you have to use. So select this username and paste it here. Okay, so and paste it here, and we already checking out that manifest repository to our pipeline, and let's add the stage here. So we added the image, right? Let's come back to version 1, and we added the checkout stage to the pipeline already, and let's add this stage. Okay, so let's copy this, right click and copy, and come back to here Tetris and paste it here, and you can see here. So what is the image name that we created? And first we need to add the credentials, right? So let's go back to pipeline syntax here. So that's why we open 2 tabs for Jenkins. Okay, so go back to dashboard and go to the manage Jenkins, and you can see under credential section, and click on global and add credentials, and for the kind you have to select the secret text. Okay, so go back to your GitHub repository. So this is my GitHub repository. So and you have to click on your profile here on the right side, and you have to click on settings here for the token generation, and you have to come here for the developer settings. So select this one. So you have to click on personal access tokens here. So select this one, and you have to select the tokens classics, and you have to click on generate new token with the classic. Okay, generate new token classic, and you have to provide your password, confirm, and you have to provide any name you want. I am just going with Jenkins, and the expiration is 7 days. However, I am deleting this one after the completion of this project. Okay, so and you have to select these everything. Okay, repo, every checkbox, select repo, write package, delete, admin. So once this is done, you have to click on generate token, and you can see it's generated a token. Okay, let's copy this token and come back to your manage Jenkins and add the secret here. And for the token you have to use the GitHub. Okay, so you have to use the same name. Okay, GitHub, and for the description is also GitHub. Okay, and create. So you can see this is the description, I mean right. So this is the ID, right? GitHub. So that is the same thing we are using here. You can see this is the GitHub, and variable we are using the GitHub token. If you want to generate this one, all you have to go here and go to the dashboard and click on Tetris and go to the pipeline syntax, and you have to select it with env. Okay, with binding with credential, bind credentials to variable, and add what is that secret text, right? Select the secret text, and what is the variable name you want. We are using the GitHub token, right? GitHub underscore token, and what is the token? You have to select your token. So for the GitHub I am selecting, and you have to generate it here, and you can see we are getting the same thing. Okay, so with credential string, credential ID is GitHub and variable is GitHub token. So that is the same thing I am added here. Okay, and you can see with credential string, credential ID is GitHub and variable is GitHub token. Okay, so this is how I generated that one. So let's write inside this one. Okay, so the steps or everything should be inside this one, right? And you can see, so what is our image name, right? So this is our image name, right? So let's copy that and change it here. So 7 as a Tetris version 1 latest, and we are changing with this one. So what is our name? So it will change the name here, and we are changing it to deployment.yaml. And if you come back here and go to the repositories, and you can see here in the Tetris manifest, so what is our file name? So this is the file name of deployment.yaml, and you have to change the image, right? So we are using the set command to change the image name to this one that we created from here. So this will change to, and you can see here there is no image name here. Okay, and if you click on this, it will automatically change to this name. Okay, so whenever we complete this process, whenever the build completes, it will automatically change the name to the deployment.yaml. So this is the name, right? Deployment.yaml. So this is the name we are using here. So deployment.yaml, and we are adding the file to our GitHub repository git. Next we are committing the message. With the message we are updated the image name to this one, and finally we are pushing the image. So HTTPS GitHub token, so already provided that token, right? So it will use that token to log into our GitHub repository. And what is our username? So this is my username that I already provided here, and the environment you can see. So Ajay7, it will push it to Tetris manifest. This is the repository name. It will push the Tetris manifest repo. So it will push it to my repo name. So what is our repo name? Tetris manifest. So apply and save, and you have to click on build now. Okay, let's see how much time it will take for this build. Okay, so this is the 4th build, and you can see we got the error. So let's go inside and console output, and we got the 2 errors. Okay, so stage image updater. Okay, let's go and check it. Go to the Tetris and go to the configure and come down here. So everything fine. So what is the error? So let's go back to Tetris and let's see the error. Fourth one, console output. Sorry. So you can see here I wrote this steps. I mean wrong spell here. So you have to use the steps, right? So that's why it's throwing the error. Apply and save. And you can see here we have to write the steps, but we wrote this setup. Okay, that's why it's throwing the error. And let's build it again, and you can see our fifth build got started. Okay, so it's working fine. Sonar analysis is started, and we already scanned the image last 39 minutes ago, and you can see the image also. You can see, so there is no image here in the image line. Okay, so whenever this complete build completes, you will see the image name with the Tetris 7 or Tetris version 1 and latest. Okay, so go to the Tetris manifest, and you can see last updated is 13 hours ago, and whenever this build completes, it will automatically update the here also. Okay, let's see that. So sorry, so the build got failure because of the, and if you go to the build and you can see the console output, and you can see here it's not finding any work, I mean Docker file inside the Tetris. Okay, so we did the mistake here. So come back to Tetris and click on configure, and you have to come here. Okay, so we updated this one, right? So it's throwing the error. Let's copy this one. Okay, so delete the block over there. Okay, so delete that stage. So we have to use the stage after here. Okay, after the Trivy image scan, we have to use it here. Okay, image updater. So before that we have to check out that one. Okay, so apply, and you can save it here, or you can use the new build also. Okay, so click on build now, and you can see our sixth build is started now. And if you want to if you don't want to use this inside the same job, you can directly go back to our dashboard, and you have to click on new item. Okay, and you can use it here. So you can use like a manifest and click on pipeline and click on OK, and you can directly go to the pipeline here, and you can directly write the pipeline and everything. Okay, let me copy it from here itself, from the GitHub repository. So this is the stage, right? So image updater, you can use the another job also. Okay, so you can paste it here. You have to write the pipeline and open brackets, and inside the pipeline you have to use the agent as any and enter, and you have to use the environment. Okay, let's copy this one and come here and paste the environment. So after that you have to start the stages of the environment. Okay, stages bracket. So within the stage we have to do the checkout and everything. Okay, so let's copy the stage, copy it and replace here. So should be inside the steps and this one, and next stage we have to use this one. Okay, so copy this one, right click and copy it and delete that one, and you have to paste it here, and you can see these stages. Okay, and we don't need the environment also, and you can see after this stage we have to add the another stage. Okay, so enter, so apply, and you can directly add this like this. Okay, and if you have to change the image here. Okay, so if you change any image here, okay, Tetris version 1, right? If you use the version 1 here, apply, and if you save this and if you update this one, it will automatically run. Okay, so this is how you can do, but we are going to do inside this one. Okay, inside this particular Tetris only. Okay, and you can see our scan is started. Okay, and now you can see it's working fine. So last time we used the checkout and checkout manifest and the one by one, right? So that's why it's automatically replacing the checkout files. That's why it's throwing the error, and you can use this one. Okay, so that's why if you run the checkout stage first, and after the building stage you have to write the another checkout stage. Otherwise you can directly create another job for the manifest. Okay, so we will run the second version inside this manifest. Okay, I will show that one also. Okay, and you can see, so the image got updated, and if you go back to the GitHub repository here, so and you can see in the deployment.yaml file, our application is updated. And if you go back to the deployment.yaml, and you can see, so our image got updated here, 7 as a Tetris version 1 here. And if you come back here, and you can see the time also, you can see this is now. Okay, so let's add the ArgoCD so to our application. Let's clear the screen. So let's come back here. I already provided the link for the ArgoCD installations, and click on here, and you can see here this will install the ArgoCD. Okay, so install ArgoCD on our EKS cluster. Okay, so before doing that, you have to come here and you have to update the EKS also. AWS EKS update -cube config, and you have to provide this command definitely. Okay, so -name. So what is your name of your cluster? EKS _ cloud. So this is my cluster name. -region. So what is the region? AP-south1, right? So that's why I'm providing the AP-south1. If you don't know what is your region, you can directly come back here and go to your Tetris Jenkins and go to dashboard and click on Terraform EKS, and you can go to the inside this console output, and you can see the cluster, or you can directly go to the AWS console and you can see. Okay, and you can see here clearly. So this is the cluster name I'm using. Okay, so that's why I'm using the same name here, EKS cloud, and click on enter, and it will configure. You can see it's added a new context for our Ubuntu. Okay, enter, and if you see the kubectl get nodes, enter, you will see the nodes of your cluster. You can see, so we added the only one EC2 instance, right? That's why it's working fine. Okay, so Ctrl L and enter. If now we have to install the ArgoCD. Okay, so go back to installation of ArgoCD, and first we need to create a namespace, and next we need to apply the ArgoCD. Okay, so copy these commands and come back to mobile extreme and paste the commands here and enter again, and you can see namespace is created now, and it will install the ArgoCD on your system. So you can see ArgoCD is also created, and go back here, and if you want to install CLI for your ArgoCD, you can go with this one. So I'm not using any CLI here, and you have to click on here for the next page. We have to configure the ArgoCD, and we have to expose this ArgoCD to load balancer. Okay, load balancer type. So now you have to copy this particular service command to expose the ArgoCD to load balancer type, and copy this command and come here and clear the screen and enter. You have to paste the command here and enter, and you have to click on enter, and you can see service ArgoCD is patched. So, and if you go back to your AWS console now, here under load balancing, you have to click on load balancers, and you can see our load balancer is created now. Okay, so it will create a load balancer in our AWS console only. Okay, so come back here. After this is done, wait for 2 minutes. Okay, and you can go back to ArgoCD installations, and you can see wait about 2 minutes for a load balancer creation. Okay, so wait for the 2 minutes. After that, you have to provide this particular commands. Okay, so we have to provide the ArgoCD server here. Okay, so let's copy this one and come back here, and you have to paste it here and enter, and we have to install the JQ command here. Okay, so we didn't find the JQ. You can see it's providing the JQ command here. That's why we need to install it by providing the sudo apt install JQ-y, enter, and it will install JQ for our system. Okay, and enter. Okay, everything fine. So clear the screen and provide the up arrow and enter ArgoCD server. Okay, and if you provide echo $ArgoCD _server, you will get the load balancer type. Okay, so this is for the load balancer. Okay, so just select this one, so we will use it later. Okay, so enter. So this is the load balancer link for our ArgoCD. Okay, so let's come back here, and we need to set the login for the initial password also. So just copy this command, so it will generate a password for us, and you have to enter here and enter. And if you provide echo again, echo $ArgoPWD_ and enter, you will see your password. Okay, sorry, should be in capital letters. Okay, So you can see here we added the argo password in the capital letters. Just copy it and paste it here and enter. Sorry, so echo in the small letters, and you can see this is the password for our ArgoCD. So let's copy this link, load balancer link, and go back to browser and open a new tab and paste it here and enter, and you will get like error like this. Okay, you have to click on advanced and you have to click on this one, proceed to this one. Okay, and you can see this is the ArgoCD login page. For the username you have to use the admin, and for the password we already have the password here, and you can see we provided the echo argo pwd rate. It will provide the password, and come back here and paste the password and click on sign in, and you can see this is the dashboard for our ArgoCD. You have to click on the setting options here, so gearbox, and you have to click on repositories, and you have to connect the repository. So connect the repo using HTTPS, select this one, and you have to go back to your GitHub repository. So this is the Tetris manifest, right? So you have to use this but Tetris manifest only. So select this one, copy it here and go back to the ArgoCD, and we have to use the type as a Git. Okay, so project you have to use the default, and repository URL, so you have to paste the Tetris manifest here, and nothing you have to do. So all you have to do is provide Git and default and your URL and click on connect, and you can see we are connected successfully. So now go back to here, manage your applications and diagnose health problems. Select this one, and you have to click on new app here, and you have to provide the application a name. So you can provide any name, but I am providing the Tetris here. Okay, so what is the project name? So default I am going, and sync policy select the automatic, and the repository URL you have select this one. We already added, right? So Tetris manifest. So revision is head, and we have to path, we have to provide a dot and slash. So our deployment file is at the dot folder only. Okay, at the root folder only. And for the cluster URL you have to select the default, and for the namespace you have to use the default only. Okay, and nothing you have to change. All you have to add the destination Kubernetes default.svc and default namespace and default path and URL. Okay, select this one only. Okay, and you have to project name set to default, and application name is Tetris, and sync policy is set to be automatic. Okay, and you have to click on create here. Our Tetris app is created. Okay, if you click on here, and you can see it's automatically deploying our application with the service. Okay, you can see Tetris service is started a few seconds ago, and you can see the Tetris and pods and everything. It is created automatically ArgoCD. Okay, and if you click on service here and click on details, and you have to copy this load balancer. Okay, it will automatically create another load balancer in your AWS, and you have to paste it here, Ctrl V and enter. And if you come back to the load balancer here, and you can see only one is available, and if you refresh, and you can see the another load balancer also. You can see now it's set to 2. Okay, and you can see we are not reaching to our application, right? So you can see here, and it's synced, and our image is 7 as a Tetris version 1 latest. We are using the latest version, everything fine. So let's take some time. So if it's not working fine, all you have to do is go back to here, and if you provide the kubectl get all here, and you can see whether our application is deployed or not, and you can see our pod Tetris is deployed, you can see, and running fine. And you have to open this particular port. Okay, 31849. So go back to over here and go to the EC2 and under the security groups, and you can see here you have to update the CKS cluster, or you can directly select the EC2 dashboard here, and you have to select the instances running and select this public EC2 instance. Okay, T2 medium, and you have to click on security. So and you have to edit an inbound role. Okay, so go to this security group, edit inbound rules. So you have to add another rule. Okay, add rule. So what is our rule? So you can see here in the mobile extreme. So this is the rule, right? 31849, and add it here. So custom rule 31849, and for the all port, open it and click on save rules, and we added the 31,849 to our system. So that is done. If you go back here, just refresh this page and you can see our React app is completely working fine now. Okay, and you can see you can play the Tetris game also. Okay, clearly you can play the game and you can play happily without any errors. Okay, so now I wanted to update this particular image, okay, to the new image. Okay, so it's looking so bad for me to play this game. Okay, so after some days, if you find this one wasn't not looking so good and you want to update the image, what you have to do, you have to go back to your console here. So I mean our Jenkins. Okay, so come to dashboard. So let's login, sorry. So admin, so let's create our second version for our application. Okay, so click on sign in and you can see, let's go back to our Tetris. So click on configure. So till now we created the version 1 only. Okay, so go down to the pipeline stage and let's copy the manifest file, I mean image updated file. Okay, so let's copy the stages. Okay, I don't want to use inside here. Okay, so let's copy up to here, Control C and delete those stages and apply it and save and come back to manifest file. Okay, so dashboard and come to manifest, and I already told, right, I will use the version 2 inside the another build. Okay, so I will tell that also, and you can come down here. Okay, so let's change the stages here. Okay, so paste the stages that you copied, apply and save it here. So come back to dashboard and go to the Tetris now. Let's come back to this one also, go to our version 2 repository. Okay, now so till now we used the Tetris version 1. So go back to Ajay 7 and go to the repositories, and you can see this is the Tetris version 2. Okay, so click on this one and just copy this code. Okay, copy it and go back to Jenkins here and click on configure. So this is the second build we are going to do, and come here and change the IP address here. You can see we are using the Tetris version 1 till now. So you can see we use the Tetris version 2 now. Okay, and you can see we don't need this anymore because we are already using the another job for the manifest, right? So let's delete that, and you can see everything is same. And let me change the version 1 to version 2.0, and here also 2.0, and everything is same, nothing you have to change. Okay, and you can see we need to change the version 1 to v2 here. Okay, so v2 and everything v2. So we are going to build the version 2 v2, and here we are going to change the version to v2 here also and check again. Okay, and we are scanning the image also version 2. So this is also fine. Let's copy this particular image. Okay, right click and copy it and click on apply and click on save. So let's come back to dashboard. Okay, and click on manifest here, and we will update the image here. Okay, so go to the configure. So we are creating the version 2 here, right? So what is the name? We need to change the name here. Okay, so 7 Ajay, and you can see we changed the version 2 here and apply and save. And let's come back to here, manifest. So what is my job name? So manifest, right? So select this one, just copy the name of the pipeline. Okay, Control C and come to dashboard. So come to Tetris. I will trigger this job from the Tetris. Okay, I will trigger the manifest from the Tetris. So let's go to the pipeline. At the end of this pipeline image, okay, enter, write the new stage. What is the new stage? Trigger manifest pipeline. Manifest pipeline, and open a bracket. So steps, open brackets, and we have to write the build job. Okay, so build job column. So within the single quotes or double quotes you can paste the job name. So manifest is my job name. Okay, and you have to set comma here and weight is equals to true. So after the completion of this job, so then only the manifest will start. Okay, so apply and save and click on build now. Let's build the second version of Tetris game. Okay, so till now we are playing the version 1. Okay, you can see our second build got started. Okay, and you can see sonar analysis is also completed. And if you go back to projects here and if you refresh this one, you can see the two versions. Okay, so last time we have only the version 1. Okay, so now you can see it scanned the 1K lines. So you can see the code smells is 12. So because we are using the version 2 now. Okay, so last we used the version 1 for the application Tetris 1. So we will get this particular output. Okay, so let's complete this project. Okay, so after that I can show the image also. You can see, so till now we have the only the version 1. Okay, so you can see the deployment.yaml. You can see 7 as a Tetris version 1 latest is there. Okay, so once this complete build succeeded, you can change the image over there automatically. Okay, so it will automatically trigger this particular Tetris job. Okay, so a manifest job you can see here, not built yet. Go to Tetris. Scan is completed and it's building the Docker image. Okay, so this is the 7th build. It's working fine. You can see the dependency report is also increasing because there are separate versions. Okay, so till now for the 6th build we are using the version 1. Okay, so that's why there are no any dependency reports, but we are using the separate version. Okay, so that's why it's getting the another dependency check report. That's why it's increasing. You can see the graph is slightly increasing the critical values and everything. Okay, and you can see build got succeeded and come back to dashboard because it will trigger the manifest, right? And if you go back to Docker Hub and you can see the two versions of game. Okay, so Tetris version 1 and you can see Tetris version 2. Okay, so pushed 29 minutes ago version 1 and few seconds ago we pushed the version 2. Okay, and if you go back to the dashboard here and you can see, so whenever the Tetris completes, automatically manifest will start. Okay, so we added the trigger job. Okay, so we added the trigger. Okay, and you can see trigger manifest is started here. You can see here and you can see image updater. So manifest is starting now and you can see here also. So whenever you go inside this particular manifest and you can see our build got succeeded. Okay, so it's checked out and it's updated the image also. Okay, so you can see the logs also by going inside this particular console output and you can see we pushed the image, right? So what is the version image? So it's updated the version image to version 2 latest. And if you go back to Tetris manifest here and you can see it's 29 minutes ago, and if you refresh this one and you can see our deployment.yaml file is updated to version 2 here. And if you go inside this one and you can see version 1.2 is updated. Okay, and go to Tetris manifest and click on deployment.yaml and you can see it's updated the image here also, and it's go to the ArgoCD. Okay, so and you can see here it's still using the version 1 only. Okay, so it will take the minimum 5 to 10 seconds. It will automatically sync the application. Okay, so otherwise if it is not refreshed, just click on refresh once. Okay, and you can see it's using the version 2 now. Okay, so you can see here we are using the version 2 image now and it's progressing now. Okay, so let's click on here. So Tetris service you have to click on here. So click on 3 dots and click on details. So copy the host names here and open it in a new tab. Okay, and enter, and let's wait for the application. Okay, so you can see here it's working fine now, and if you see there is a difference between the version 1 and the version 2. Okay, and you can see here everything got synced and application health is fine and it is synced and it's synced to version 2 also. You can see version 2 here latest, and you can see it's creating the pods and everything here. Okay, you can see everything is running fine and you can see it's creating the container. Okay, still it's creating the container stage. You can see everything from it itself. Okay, it's using the images Tetris version 2 here. Okay, so and you can go here, or let me refresh this ones. And you can see, so this is the game we are getting now. This is the version 2, and if you click on start here and you can see the version 2 here. So this is the version 1, right? And you can see it will go with the same version only because it's automatically started, right? So you can play the game. This is the version 2 we are playing now. Okay, so version 1 is different from the version 2, right? And you can change to the different if you wanted to go with the another mode. Okay, so I wanted to get the light mode, not the dark mode. You can change the modes also. Okay, you can see, so we are getting the different one. Okay, and you can play the game like this. So we deployed the application, you can directly change the mode also. You can see now we are going to the backly dark mode. Okay, and you can play the game very well. Okay, so if you change anything, so not only from the CI/CD, okay, so from the Tetris version 1, you can see here, let me update it to begin to version 1. Okay, and not only the version 1, let me update it to the some other Reddit app or clone app, anything. Okay, so if you go back to my Docker hub, okay, you can see here there are so many other applications which runs on the same 3000 ports. Let me use the Amazon. Okay, so come back to Tetris manifest here, and let me remove this version 2 to Amazon. Okay, I want to use the Amazon, and if I commit the changes here, so I'm not showing this one from the automatic, I mean CI/CD pipeline. I updated the manifest file, right? If you come back to Tetris manifest, and you can see here I updated the deployment.yaml, and if you go back to Tetris app here, and it will automatically take. Okay, if it's not taken, it will automatically sync. However, okay, it will take some time to sync. Okay, and you can see it's using the updated deployment.yaml file, and it's progressing now. Okay, and if you click on this particular progressing, you can see this is the container creating. If you click on this one, and you can see it's using the Amazon app now. Okay, and if you go here and just refresh this one, okay, so we will get the Amazon app. Okay, so after some time it will get the Amazon app. Okay, so because they are still in container creating state. Okay, so creating state, right? A few seconds ago, and it's terminating automatically. You can see here it's terminating and running and everything. It's automatically deleting and it's creating and everything from the itself. Okay, so ArgoCD will help to create everything and terminate every pods and everything. Okay, and if you go back here, just refresh the here. Okay, just refresh these links. Okay, so load balancer will automatically take. Okay, it's refreshed and it's working fine. Amazon, now it's working. Okay, I hope you understand how to set up the ArgoCD and how to change the image updater from the Jenkins CI/CD only by using the trigger application. Okay, you can see here we have deployed our application using the version 1 and version 2 using the ArgoCD, and if you click on configure and we use the trigger in the pipeline, you can see this is the trigger. So we use the trigger to start the manifest job automatically whenever this build completes. Okay, so whenever the Tetris version 2 is completed building, it will automatically start the manifest file job. Okay, and you can see we used the version 1 to deploy, and we used the version 2 also. We played the game and works fine, and I hope you learned something new from this video using the ArgoCD. And let's delete the everything. Okay, and if you go back to here and come back to dashboard, let's come back to Tetris, and you can see the dependency report also. You can see trigger manifest pipeline is also different from the last one. Okay, so for the version 1 we used it in the same pipeline for the image updater, but we are using the different manifest job for the version 2. Okay, I wanted to show the two versions. How can we deploy the or update the image within the same pipeline, and we can the outside of the another job. Okay, and if you click on see latest dependency check, you can see the 53 bugs and everything. So OWASP is working fine, and you can see the console output and everything. You can see the version here also. You can see Tetris version 2.0. so okay, and you can see the 6th version here. So this is the version 1. Okay, if you click on dependency check, and you can see the 47 dependency check errors, and for the 7th one, and you can see the 2.0, this is the 7th one build, and you can see 53 OWASP dependency vulnerabilities. Okay, so everything looking fine, right? So now destroy our AWS EKS from the Jenkins only. So go to the Terraform EKS, and you have to select the build with parameters, and you have to select the action as a destroy here. Okay, click on build now, and it will automatically delete your cluster. Okay, so before that you have to delete this one also. Okay, so you have to close this application. Okay, so you have to click on delete, and you have to click on OK. So you have to provide the name here, sorry, Tetris. So and click on OK. So otherwise it won't delete. Okay, so you can see it started deleting, and you have to come here and we need to remove the ArgoCD also. Okay, otherwise the load balancer will run automatically whenever the cluster will delete. Okay, so ArgoCD we use it to deploy using the load balancer type, right? So in order to delete that, we need to provide another command. Okay, so I will provide the every command inside blog. Okay, don't worry about how to delete the cluster and everything. Okay, so even the delete the service also. Okay, so to delete the kubectl service that we started for the ArgoCD, you have to provide this command. Okay, so let me connect again and let's delete the service. Okay, so Ctrl L to clear the screen, and you have to provide the kubectl, and you have to delete the service that we started for the ArgoCD. Delete svc ArgoCD. All right, we use it for ArgoCD -server -n namespace ArgoCD, right? So we created load balancer for this, and we are deleting that one. Okay, and you can see service is deleted, and you can see here ArgoCD application is also it's deleting. Okay, and if you go back to your EC2 here and go to the load balancer types, you can see load balancing, load balancers, and if you refresh this one, and you can see no resources is to display. Okay, so we have to delete the ArgoCD service and we have to remove the AKS cluster, so then your both the load balancer will be automatically deleted. Okay, and come back, then it will automatically delete your cluster, and even the its provisioned EC2 instance, right? It will delete that one also. Okay, so you can see AKS is deleted, and if you go back to your AWS console and you can search for AKS and see whether it's deleted or not, and if you click on enter, and you can see if you click on clusters, you don't find any clusters. Okay, so cluster is deleted, and go back to EC2 instances and let's see whether it's delete EC2 instance or not. Okay, so that created from the node group. Okay, and you can see instances is running set to 1, that means we are running the Jenkins Argo only. And now you have to come to the Visual Studio Code, so we provisioned EC2 from here, right? So that's why we need to destroy from here. So Terraform destroy -auto -approve and enter, and it will delete the every EC2 instance that we created. Okay, so I am inside the Jenkins Terraform C, you can clearly. Okay, and you can see it's deleting the IAM role first, and it's deleting the security group. It will refresh everything and it will delete everything. You can see 5 to destroy. Okay, so it will delete everything. Okay, and you can see destroy is completed, and if you go back to AWS console and just refresh this one, and you can see no instance is running. Okay, and if you go back to dashboard also, you can see, so you can't find any. Okay, and you can see there are no load balance and everything fine. So let's delete my IAM user that I am created for this project and click on enter. So I already deleted the GitHub token that I generated for this project. Okay, so I will provide everything. Okay, don't worry about the Tetris version 1 and everything. I will provide the 3 GitHub repositories in my blog, and watch those blogs. Okay, you read those blogs, and everything I will provide in the description of my YouTube. And I created the AKS and as a, so I am deleting the both. Okay, so delete and click on delete users, so and it will automatically delete users. And for the readme.md, so I don't need any more this keys. Okay, so let's delete this keys also, delete and save the file, and you can come back here. So you can see there are no users for me, and let's close the sign out. I hope you learned something new from this video using the ArgoCD, and thanks for watching the video and keep on supporting